Hey everyone, Pastor Mark is here. I want to welcome you to the Story Church Project YouTube channel. And today I want to answer a really common question and help you understand the big difference between a missional network and a house church movement. But before I do, like and subscribe to my channel. It helps the YouTube algorithms know that something important is happening here, and then it shares it with more people. Now, in order to explain the difference between a missional network and a house church, I'm going to go way back to the traditional church. As you guys already know, traditional churches are buildings with a program that takes place on the same day every single week. Now, there might be a few more programs scattered around, but no one really goes to those. For the most part, it's the main service at the building that really counts. A house church, typically speaking, is like a traditional church, only there's no big building. Instead, people meet in homes. But notice that there's still a program and everything still revolves around this main program on this one day. In some ways, house churches can look like traditional churches. Same program, same outline, same culture, same everything, just no big building. Some house churches even sit in rows with a lectern at the front. Now, this video isn't here to criticize. I believe there is room for multiple expressions in the body of Christ, and house churches, as well as traditional churches, have their place in God's mission. But there is something that makes a missional network very different to a house church movement, and here it is. Like house church movements, missional networks don't use a big central building. And like house church movements, missional networks can sometimes meet in a person's house. However, a missional network has no program. Okay, that's not entirely true. It's better to say that the difference is that rather than a central program that features prayer, Bible study, worship, announcements, children's stories, Sabbath school, sermon, and fellowship all on the one day, what a missional movement does is it decentralizes all of this and spreads it out during the week and month so that there isn't actually one event or gathering that matters more than the rest. It's all spread out. And what this means is when you gather on Sabbath, you can just focus on sharing what God is doing in your world, get equipped to be a disciple who makes disciples, and fellowship with other believers. Now, another day throughout that week, you might focus on prayer, and then another might be a Bible study. And then once a month, you might have a justice project that you're engaged in, and so on. Now, some people look at this and say, dude, that's way too much. I just want to turn up on Sabbath and go home. I'm too busy for anything else. And if that's the case, then by all means, stay connected to the church that works for you. But for others, this approach means you can actually build relationships with people and do life together. Instead of coming to a 2-hour event and then being lonely for the next 166 hours of the week, a missional network aims to provide intimate and deep community throughout the week, not just as a special event. And because there's no main program to prep for, everyone is free to build relationships, connect with seekers, and live incarnationally in the lives of friends instead of expecting them to come to church with you. And this highlights another big difference. In missional community, the goal isn't to get seekers to the Sabbath gathering, because the Sabbath gathering is not a main event. It's just part of your community's life flow. So instead of trying to get seekers to come here, we go to them the other days of the week. No building, no program. And while we might meet in homes, the home is not the center of what we do as in a house church movement because there is no central program or event. The best summary I can think of is that traditional churches and many house churches as well centralize everything into a specific gathering and location. Church is centralized, it is a contained phenomenon. Missional movements, however, decentralized. They seek to be church everywhere, every day. It is an unrestrained, uncontained model. And what this means is every missionary in a missional network is called to live life differently, following the rhythms of Jesus and aiming within proper boundaries to live in community and be the church every day, not just on one day. In short, a missional community is not a different way of church, it's a different way of life. And here's the thing, you guys, there is no model that is going to magically reach secular seekers. There is only relationship, sacrifice, and radical love. If you enjoyed this video, please consider joining my online school where I have over 30 hours of in-depth training plus live sessions every Sunday on mission, evangelism, and church planting in secular culture. Just head over to thestorychurchproject.com/TMC or tap the link in the notes below.